This is KGW News at noon.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime of murder. Of Penal Code Section 187.
O.J. Simpson, the former NFL star, acquitted of murdering his ex-wife in a televised trial that gripped the country in the mid-90s, has died at the age of 76. That's our top story today at noon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Christine Pitawanich. O.J. Simpson's attorney confirmed the news this morning to TMZ, and a message on his official X account said he died after a battle with cancer. NBC's Jay Gray has a look back at O.J. Simpson's life.
A Heisman Trophy winner and NFL Hall of Fame running back, O.J. Simpson, will be remembered most for something he could never run from. Born Orenthal James Simpson in 1947, he was raised by a single mom on the rough side of San Francisco. His way out? Football. A college star at USC, he was drafted by the Buffalo Bills, where he had a record-setting NFL career, including a league MVP. He retired as one of the best to ever play the game. And for O.J., the spotlight never dimmed.
Nobody does it better than...
Transitioning into a successful career in TV and movies.
That's great.
He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 1985, the same year he married his second wife, Nicole Brown. The couple had 2 children, but apparently a rocky marriage that included allegations of domestic abuse. Nicole Brown Simpson filed for divorce in February of 1992, and just over 2 years later, she and a friend, Ron Goldman, were found murdered in her Brentwood home.
Suspect may be driving a white or light-colored Ford Bronco.
5 days after the deadly attack, driven by a former teammate, Simpson led officers on a low-speed chase across Los Angeles, threatening to take his own life before eventually surrendering to police. He was charged with murder. The court proceedings, dubbed the trial of the century,
if it doesn't fit, you must acquit,
lasted 9 months every minute.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the...
On live TV.
Justice was not served.
Searching for that justice, the Goldman family won a civil suit. Simpson ordered to pay more than $33 million. He returned to court multiple times over the next several years for traffic violations, even pirating cable TV. But it was a Las Vegas robbery in 2008, Simpson saying he was taking back stolen personal property that ultimately sent him to prison.
Count 1, conspiracy to commit a crime. Guilty. Count
Sentenced
2.
to 33 years, he served just over 9.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before being paroled in 2017. Jay Gray, NBC News.
An Oregon City man who admitted to shooting and killing his wife was sentenced to life in prison this morning. Police say 41-year-old Anthony Wessell turned himself into police and admitted to the crime in November of last year. Shortly after, police found 37-year-old Anna Wessell dead inside the home they shared. They also found a note that Wessell wrote saying he planned a murder-suicide, among other things. Wessell will not be eligible for parole for at least 25 years. Sheesh, that is not the recommended way to enter this Northwest Portland restaurant, but that is the way that a thief got into Top Burmese Burma Joy on Northwest 23rd last weekend. Police say that man in the surveillance video and a group of others took off with a safe and a cash register filled with thousands of dollars. Here's the owner of the restaurant group behind Top Burmese.
The burglars actually came through the MT store, cafe right next to it, and they used a saw, electric saw, to actually cut through the drywall, and then got through the ceiling. It fell through the ceiling, literally.
Investigators say the thieves broke into the former Starbucks location next door, climbed through the ceiling, cut a hole into the restaurant. Then you saw them crash landed in the kitchen. The criminals are still on the loose, so investigators want anyone with information to contact police. What crazy video there. Okay, taking a break though from the headlines, taking a step outside, looking at Mount Hood. Beautiful from our sky cam, I believe in the Dalles. Beautiful shot of the mountain for sure. Rod, I thought I saw a little blue sky earlier. How much longer are we looking at dry weather?
Oh, well, that's easy. I thought you were going to ask me how much longer we're going to see some sun. And then I was going to say, I'm not sure. But the dry part, that lasts easily through the afternoon. We think we'll get showers from this approaching weather system this evening. Current timing on that in Portland is still about 8 o'clock. The mystery is, when will the clouds start to thicken up, which eventually will happen at some point this afternoon. They've actually been thinner than advertised so far today in Portland, and it's quite pleasant outside. It's been a very dark, overcast day, though, up along the north coast. Here's the Astoria column camera, and this will be the first spot to get rain. Could be as soon as around 4 o'clock for you folks. Here are the, it's kind of partly sunny, even mostly sunny down in the mid-valley. That's Willamette Valley Vineyard, just south of Salem, looking out over the valley. Here's the Reserve Golf Club in a little cloudier, but still there's been some thin spots in the cloud cover. Portland's up to 58, so we should have no problem reaching 64. Again, right now, 8 o'clock, give or take, looks to be the start time for the return of raindrops. This system that comes in tonight eventually leads to a thunderstorm threat. We'll talk about that coming up in your weekend forecast.
Okay, thank you, Rod. Portland police raided a homeless camp on the edge of downtown Portland. They arrested several people on outstanding warrants. Now, the arrests come as the state, county, and city launched a new program expanding how police and outreach workers connect with people living on the streets. Blair Best has the story.
If you frequent downtown Portland, chances are you've seen this homeless camp on the corner of Burnside and Northwest 15th Avenue. It was recently posted for removal. Gigi was preparing to leave when police showed up Wednesday morning.
And all of a sudden we're being rampaged by the Portland police.
Police arrested 8 people on outstanding warrants.
Majority of the people here that were here are now in the back of the cop cars.
Gigi's boyfriend included.
And apparently he's just being booked and released.
They're just plowing through. It's ridiculous. I get it's ODOT property and stuff like that, and I respect that and all that. But I think it's just kind of bull.
So less than an hour after police showed up, a city camp removal crew came and started removing all the tents and everything inside them. But another group showed up, and they had a different mission.
We're doing a pilot program outreach for Monoma County and the governor, doing rescue missions.
Terry Connor is an outreach worker with Sober Housing Oregon.
We're able to assist them in getting detox, immediate beds, and clean and sober housing.
On Wednesday, the team behind the 90-day fentanyl state of emergency announced they're expanding a program where mental health and addiction outreach workers like Terry, along with police, connect with people on the streets struggling with addiction.
There's the meth look, and now there's the fentanyl look.
Magdalene is 20 years old and knows them both well.
Can't gain weight, ulcers, just everything, and not to mention the infections that you get.
Magdalene declined the offer for services Wednesday. Gigi was the only one at this camp who wanted help.
A lot of them have lived this way so long, they're accustomed to it, and they're just afraid of change.
But neighbors, afraid of being identified, say a change can't come soon enough.
It's encouraging to see some action taken. It's a step. I don't know how long, it will take for it to return.
We're allowed to go about 2 blocks every 2 blocks. Every time we're told to move, we just go another 2 blocks until we're told to move again.
Blair Best, KGW News.
A U.S. Forest Service firefighter is facing reckless burning charges. Ricky Snodgrass was arrested in 2022 after a controlled fire that he was overseeing in eastern Oregon got out of control and scorched roughly 20 acres of private land. Since Snodgrass's arrest, Max Alonzo with the union representing federal workers says other federal firefighters have become wary of overseeing these kinds of fires.
If we don't have people that are burn bosses, we're not going to be able to do this kind of work. And we're going to get overgrown forest, and it's going to be extremely bad for the public.
He says there's a huge need for controlled burns here in the Pacific Northwest, and incidents like Snodgrass's arrest don't help the situation. When it comes to the legal case, Alonzo says Snodgrass's defense attorneys are working to get the case moved to federal court, where he hopes to have the charges dropped.